What's up, my tea guzzlers? We out here on Tampa 1992 Supercross. Okay, just a little bit of a throwback, While my Suzuki 1992, this track is made by NWG. All right. What a G that dude is, by the way. He's got a selection of about 20 or 30 different retro tracks for Reflex. Okay, little stair step, little little stairway to heaven, dude. Hadn't seen a little section like that in a while. All right. Bro, I tell you what, Reflex, a lot of people nowadays, it's like they have forgotten how much custom track content there is for this game. I swear to Pastrana, for some reason it seems like a lot of people have just sort of forgotten about it. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but there's still at least like another 420 different track reviews I could do on tracks on Reflex, just from the amount of, custom track content out there. And MX Simulator's the same way. It's just there hasn't necessarily been a whole lot of like brand new track content that has come out for both of these games recently. I mean, there's been some, but there's not been as much as there has been back in like the, 2015, 14, 15, 16, 17 days. I feel like there was a lot more track content. Look at that moon in the background, bro. It's like 2 pixels, dude. At least there is a moon, dude. I be that man on that moon. Oh, Spency boy, can't hit these jumps. It's Suzu, bro. Hell yeah, dog. Alright, there's a Big Daddy Huck right here. Whoa, dogs. I don't know if I can hit that. That's for the dogs only right there, dude. Oh, man. We're going to have this Suzuki a little bit more on that throttle, buddies. So, kind of cool seeing another retro track right here. Definitely has the vibe of it, like as far as the on-track. It's kind of got a cool little narrow-y, but not super bad narrow, only narrow in some areas, but the jump rhythms are super unique. Definitely feels like you're on some sort of a old-school retro-type track, which all of these NWG tracks for retro tracks for Reflex have had that kind of vibe to them, but they've all also been slightly different as well. Like he had like a 2007 retro track that felt kind of different than this. He's had some, 90s retro tracks that kind of feel different from some of his other retro tracks, you see what I'm saying? So this dude really has done quite the job here as far as making some different variation to these different, retro vibe tracks, right? But, yeah, whoops are kind of cool. They got a couple little spots within them that it's like smoothed down a little bit. Kind of got some character to it, you know what I'm saying? Got to have that character, boys. Definitely let me know down in the comments some other Reflex tracks you guys want me to do reviews on. Spency boy bringing back the custom track review Reflex days from like 2013. I don't see a whole lot of people on YouTube doing like a whole lot of like just straight up like Reflex track reviews anymore or MX Sim track reviews anymore, It's interesting to see that, but I definitely think it's making my channel stand out a little bit now again, because a lot of guys are just absolutely neck-ass deep into MX bikes, and it's like that's just all they're fucking playing. That's all they're making video content on. They're making the same video, 6 or 9 times back-to-back on the same kind of thing, doing the same kind of thing, I don't know. I just feel like it's cool and all with MX bikes right now, because it's all still kind of fresh and everybody's kind of into what they're doing because they're finally starting to make the, somewhat better tracks and stuff. But give that thing a little more time and it won't necessarily have the same luster, you know what I'm saying? But everything's still real new with MX bikes right now, you know what I mean? So, but Reflex is still a golden-ass game, dude. I mean, it's the golden goose, Reflex is the golden goose when it comes to arcade dirt bike games. And this is what's crazy too, now that I'm thinking about it this way, but it's kind of like Reflex is the golden arcade dirt bike game, MX Simulator is the golden simulator, and then MX Bikes is the golden hybrid between a simulator and an arcade dirt bike game. But it's just the fact that, you know, MX Bikes has the best graphics out of all three. MX Bikes is the newest of all three. So you've really got a lot of like the track makers that are super involved on MX Bikes right now. But it ain't like you can't have track makers come out of the woodwork for Reflex or MX Simulator again, because you still can have that. You see what I'm saying? It's just like Reflex and Sim have been around, dude. Sim came out in 2007, Reflex came out in like 2008 or something like that. But I mean, they've been around a lot longer. And I'm just telling you right now, it's a lot harder to keep the excitement around the game and people playing it, making content on it, making tracks for it, you know. It's a lot harder to have that sort of vibe the longer and the longer that the game has been out. Bro, these whoops ain't nothing to play with. They're pretty sick, dude. Okay, so overall, 1992 Tampa Supercross definitely gave me some retro vibes, definitely gave me some cool vibes. Difficulty, I'm gonna say this is like certainly medium. I mean, it's not like just stupendous, two broken wrist type rhythms or anything, but it is kind of got to get used to the way the track is designed for sure. I need to start like just taking that inside, and the dirt's you know, hard packed enough where you can pop off if you over jump stuff enough. So it's kind of got that sort of skill gap element to it. Like this right here, I need to be jumping clear over it like that. And there's not much of a berm in that corner right there. But got to make sure you hit this triple, and then I guess this is just like double right here. This is the rhythm where I don't really know what to do. You get to jumping through these whoops. About a 6 or 9 jump through the whoops. A little James Stewart action, bro. These whoops, you can kind of blitz these a little bit. On, off this table, go over this single. I'd say probably medium difficulty on this track. You know what I'm saying? Not crazy difficult, but it may take you a couple laps, kind of get used to what you're doing, you know what I mean? I just had never even rode on this track before, so that's why I was crashing a bit there at first, but you can definitely start feeling a little vibe here. Cool little finish line jump, kind of old school. Like a fucking motocross tabletop finish line jump, you know? And it's got this big, like, I wouldn't even call this a dragon's back, you know, more just like a stair step kind of section. That is kind of tricky, jumping all the way over that stair step and then still being able to hit the corner, because like I say, there's no berm there. It's almost like you hit that, you got to commit to hit the stair step and then turn sharp enough on a flat surface without, you know, without missing that double out of the corner. You can still blitz these whoops if you want to. That's probably faster, typically faster to blitz the whoops, I would say, but not a crazy long track or anything like that. You can jump over that tabletop right there too, but it's probably slower. You could probably not even hit this berm like this right here. But then you got to be careful. See, these jumps, they're just kind of, they're got some character on them, so you got to be a little bit careful when you're trying to hit them a certain kind of way, because the bike will sort of bounce off of the jump face because it's not like perfectly built, you know what I mean? So you can't just always expect the bike to come off that. And even like that right there, I popped off there like 2 or 3 times now, just barely over jumping that. So just be aware of that. This is about as hard packy of a vibe as you can make on Reflex, I feel like. It's got a couple little tricky spots to it, that's for sure. I'd say this track's actually probably more like medium to hard difficulty. It's definitely got a bit of a vibe to it here. But it's not really hard in the sense of like, I mean, you can jump, there's that rhythm. Then you could jump like this. Don't know if that's faster or not, but I at least wanted to show it off there. That's probably one of the more like hit a bigger rhythm than the normal rhythm than anywhere else on the track. I'm not really sure where else you would even hit a bigger rhythm than like the standard rhythm, you know? Like this right here, you're always just going to double, triple this. Might be able to quad there, maybe. Ugh, that would be tricky. I don't know. Okay, we're doing a little bit of line discovery here on the track, boys. So this track is a bit of a illusion in a sense. It kind of seems like a really simple, easy track at first, but the more you start digging in here, the more you start seeing. Maybe if we go outside here, yeah, that sets us up better for that. Okay, now we're getting it. Now that expensive boy getting it. If you really just hit that perfectly, you might be able to quad into that corner. Goodness gracious, though. That would be gnarly. It's just, I don't know, the corners are just built in a certain kind of way where it's kind of, makes it challenging. You can't ever really tell where the bike's going to go. You know, you just get so used to riding on those custom reflex tracks where everything's like a cookie cutter, perfectly man-made, zero character, you know what I mean? Basically, all you're doing is holding the gas down. You don't really have to do anything else. This track's not like that. I mean, you really got to think about what you're doing in some of these. Every corner feels different to me on this track. That's something I'll say for sure. Every corner, like the berm, is just built different, you know? It's not like you hit every corner the same kind of way or anything like that. Probably going to pop off here again. Woo-wee! Gee, buddy. Got a couple little braking bumps coming out of that corner. This fucking jump right here always scares me a little bit for some reason. Don't want to over jump that double. Okay. But yeah, like if you grease this, you can definitely triple, but then you're kind of having a single into that corner. Oh, this jump's a major huck. Yeah, it's almost like you can't just single into that corner if you want to hit the Big Daddy Huck Hossin rhythm coming out of the next rhythm, you know. But overall, this is one of the more simple but yet difficult tracks that I've ever rode on in this game. I'll tell you that for sure. The whoops are, like I say, they're pretty Big Daddy for reflex. And like, see how this berm doesn't like extend out? See that right there? It really cuts in tight, you know, even though it's like a pretty built up berm, she pretty tight, dog. You know what I mean? I don't even know if you could hit this quad out of this triple. That would be kind of tricky. So, couple little tricky spots on the track, but not like a super complex track. Just you know, kind of a character supercrossy track. Hard packy, so it makes it kind of tricky in that sense, but perfectly hit the 1992 kind of vibe that the dude was going for here. So that's always good, but I mean, if you really rode some laps on it, I'm sure it would get a bit easier, but yeah, it's almost like you got to double that to make sure you can carry the speed around to hit this. And even that's still a huck daddy, dog. That is still a huck daddy. You could probably set your bike up a little more to fit this much of a hard packy style of track, you know. It is a little bit on the tight side, little, you know, tighter, hard packy, character kind of track, you know. Bit of an interesting little mix there. But, bro, there ain't no fucking way you're quadding that. No way. So either way, overall, I'd probably give this track like a, I don't know, maybe 8 overall or something, you know? 8 or 9 overall. Probably like an 8 overall. Yeah. 8 overall. And difficulty, she is about medium to tricky, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, I would say. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing right there on reflex, you're not going to be able to jump all the way over that stair step in one jump and not fly off the edge of the track. That's all I'm going to say right there. She about medium to tricky difficulty, boys. And this jump right here, that's pretty huck daddy. Then you're just like skying it out into the biggest whoops, damn near the biggest whoops in the game. These whoops are pretty big, dude. They're pretty big, dude. But yeah, just enough to keep you on your toes, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would say about this track right here. Just enough to keep you on your toes. Whoa, there we go. Had to pop off at the end. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. I'm going to keep on doing this old school style content. Hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to keep it going, boys. Later. Dude.